still waiting. All right.
Hi.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
How are we doing today?
It's good. It's good. Let me make sure that I have you turned down on here. Okay. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you perfectly. I can hear you perfectly.
Cool.
Um,
Okay.
guys, in the comment section, I will not be. I literally my device is blocking the comment section right now. So, Mystery Mom, it's going to be up to you to keep a little bit of law and order. But we're going to start things off, guys, with a little bit of familiarity for our pet profiles
Woo.
guests. We're going to get introduced to Blair's pet. So, Blair, tell us about your cute cat here.
Hi. Hi, guys. Also, if you're joining in on my stream, this is the first ever crossover, like I said. And if I can't get to your comments, please bear with us as well. Moore and I worked really hard on getting this all set up. And you guys are going to meet Waffles tonight. Waffles is my cat. She's not behaving tonight at all, per the usual. This is her. She is what they call a tortoise shell calico, but I think she has more in her. I'd like to do a DNA test on her one day because she's got so much to her.
I've always wanted to do that on Sabaka. I've had her for 3 years, and I can't convince myself to do that for her when I can't even when I don't even want to fork out the money to do it for myself. You know what I'm saying?
I know. That's what's holding me back. I'm like, do I really care that much?
It's like if I don't want to fork out the money for myself, thank you guys for the gifts, by the way. Then why am I going to do it for my dog? No, she licks her own butt. Like why am I going to go above and beyond for that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So how did you get Waffles?
Okay, so this is a crazy story. I'm gonna put her down because I can already tell she's about to scratch me. So she's gonna do her own thing over there. So essentially, whenever I want to say like 18 or 19, I was with this dude who always wanted a cat. I was never a cat person at all, and he wanted a cat, and he wanted to name it Waffles. He didn't care what kind of cat it was. He didn't care what color. He just wanted a cat named Waffles, and I was like, I can do that. My mom's fostering a cat right now. She's about 5 months old and she needs a home. So I told my mom, I was like, put her in my name at the vet clinic. My mom works at a vet clinic. I was like, put her in my name and I'll come get her tonight. And so I forgot what this cat looked like. Didn't realize Waffles had turned into a black cat.
Wait.
And so
he turned into a black cat.
Yeah. So she was like a waffle color. Like she was like that light, like brown color when she was a kitten, and we got her, and I picked her up and I was like, well, it's already in the system. I guess she is just a burnt Waffles now. So
that's actually news to me. I did not know that cat's hair could change color. Like I did not know that at all.
I didn't either.
But you're sure it's the same cat? You're absolutely sure.
I asked my mom, I was like, are you sure this is the same cat? She was like, yeah, it's the same cat. Because that's why she kept her. She kept her because of her coat, because her coat was like a really like pretty like brown color. So we were like, okay. And it was okay that she changed colors. I still love her all the same. And it was funny because I like picked her up and I was like, oh, not the same cat I was thinking about when I picked out this name, but okay. But yeah, so that's how she became Waffles. And so, since that day, she's just been doing her thing.
Right.
She, as you can tell, she doesn't like to stay in the stream long. She'll be back. I know she will because she likes to get up here. But she is very rude. I don't know where she learned any of this from, because she, like, when her and I like first met, her and I did not get along at all. We didn't like each other. Waffles and Blair were like, we did not like each other. And then one day it just switched and she favored me over the dude. The dude ended up being terrible. And so whenever we parted ways, I took Waff with me, and Waff has been by my side, ride or die, ever since. And even when she is annoying, she is still my baby. So yeah.
Is she friendly to other people, or is she just, she's, except for you, she's just a total jerk of a cat?
Yeah. And like no one does anything to her. She just looks at other animals and other people and it's just like I don't like you. Like that's like her instant reaction. I don't know why. She just only likes me. So I'm stuck with her, I guess.
No, hey, that works. No, I mean, does that ever kind of damper your personal life? Like, you know, I won't get too deep into that, but I can imagine the cat's already, the cat just barely warmed up to you. Any potential people coming over, not feeling it, huh?
Oh yeah. She'll hide, really. She's never attacked anybody. She just hides. Um, Hi. For those of you over here on my stream too, I know my camera, I keep looking over here because I'm trying to like look at more and have this conversation. So I do apologize. My camera was not able to line up. If I'm like looking over here and looking down here, I'm just trying to like see both of you guys.
Yeah, same
we're
goes.
talking about waffles right now because we are also on Pet Profiles.
Yeah.
So,
and you guys are feel free to switch in and throughout streams. Get give Blair views, give me the views. Hey, we're running the same show at the same time. So feel free to hop. Just because why? Because you can. Because you can, and you've never been able to do that before. So
exactly, fun stuff.
So is there anything special about waffles? Does she do any tricks?
She does. I really wish that I could catch these on stream. She never likes to do them on camera. I've caught them on camera one time, but she fetches better than any dog we've ever had. She loves to fetch, and when she gets in her moment, she'll come down, like my chair's right here, she'll come down to my chair and just bring her favorite mouse toy and just look at me and go, and with her mouse in her mouth, and she'll just be like, and she'll just be like, hey, come and play fetch with me. And then I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, I'll fetch, and she'll keep bringing the toys and whatnot. And
she'll like drop it at you just like a dog does.
Yeah. When I give her kitty cookies, I don't know if maybe she heard that. Maybe she wants to come back up here. Excuse me, ma'am. But when I give her kitty cookies, she like will sit. I don't know. I have kitty cookies with me tonight, so I don't know if she'll do anything. But normally I can get her to sit, and she'll like just kind of chill. Oh, I think she heard the kitty cooks. Yes, she did. She heard the kitty cooks.
Is Waffles going to be make? There she is, everybody.
There she is.
The one and only Waffles.
Come here. You want
Thank you. If you guys are just joining us, you're tuned into Uncover Paranormal and Pet Profiles, the first ever crossover episode. So now you said she does fetch. Is there anything else special or cool about Waffles that we should know about?
She's super hypersensitive to paranormal, just like her mama, which is why we're doing this show. So she's super, super sensitive to it, and it's really cool because she just knows, and it's different from her doing her cat stuff, where they get the zoomies at 3 a.m. and they zoom, zoom, zoom across the room. She has super heightened sense, so whenever she like sees or can feel a presence, she normally sees it first, and then I feel it, and then I'm like, all right, we're doing this today. But that's usually how it works. So she's like a hypersensitive, like little like ghost alerter for me, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And we're definitely going to be diving into more about Waffles and her paranormal nature later on in the show.
Yeah.
But when did you first realize that Waffles had a little bit of a paranormal bend?
It was around the same time that I had one of my scariest ones, and I noticed it because leading up to the scariest experience I had at that moment in time in my life, I had noticed a pattern of her actions. So certain things that she would do right before something would happen to me, and so the way that she would act and the way that she would like run away even from me. Which was really interesting because it wasn't something that she normally would do, and it was certain sounds that she makes, and it's a sound that she literally doesn't make unless we're in contact with a spirit. So if a spirit of any kind is in with me at all times, Waffles makes a noise that I've never heard her make, and she won't make it unless a spirit's in here with us. It's very weird, but that was kind of when I noticed.
Are there different noises she makes for, let's say, a good spirit versus a bad spirit, or is it pretty much the same noise?
It's the same. It's just a really weird noise that she doesn't even make when she's like in her like hunting prey mode. Cats kind of make that chirpy sound. It's not even a chirp sound. It's a really weird, drawn out howl that she doesn't make unless a spirit is in with us. She's actually only done it one time on stream. I don't know if anyone was here for that, but she did it one time on stream whenever we had some issues with a dark spirit in the house, and that was about it that I've ever caught it on camera.
Wow, that's crazy. That's the I can't say that Sabaka has had any makes any quite so many noises whenever that kind of stuff happens, but you know, who knows what happens when I'm at work, you know what I mean?
You need to set up a camera. I was going to ask you about that. Sabaka probably has seen a lot.
Maybe she doesn't share it with me, but maybe we have a few stories here or there to share. Okay, before we kind of shift a little bit, I would like to ask just some fun questions that we always ask on pet profiles of the dog and cat owners that are just so fun.
Of course.
That I can't help that. Well, you already kind of touched on it a little bit. So in what ways are you and Waffles alike?
So we definitely are alike in the sense that we like our alone time, and we like being secluded, like kept away from other people. I like to be social for certain amounts of times, and then I will shut everything and everyone out, and she does the same thing. She likes to be social for a little bit. Like right now, she's kind of social. She's up in her element. And then she shuts me out and she goes and does her own thing. And I like that because it's kind of an equal balance for the two of us, unless I've been away. If I'm away, she's so clingy and it's annoying.
So if Waffles could speak English for just a moment and you could ask Waffles one question, what would it be?
I know anybody who's ever been on the stream, thank you, is going to say, there's a word I cannot say because it's not stream appropriate, but it definitely, I would ask her why she screams at me so often, and what she's saying when she screams. I'm sure everybody in here that is normally in here knows exactly what she's saying. Thank you guys. Paul just commented it if you see it in my stream. Yeah. Okay. I can't say it, but I'm pretty sure that she's screaming at me when she screams. She screams often, and I think I would ask her why she does that and what she's saying, because I need to know. I need to know what I'm doing wrong.
And if there's one thing you could change about Waffles, like this one thing, I love you, Waffles, you're my world, but this thing has got to go.
I think I would change how she gets up on here and hits me with her tail. That's the one thing. I just wish she wouldn't wag her tail like a dog, because she does it often, but she like smacks it, she whips it, she like right in the face, Blair, like bah, and it hurts sometimes, and sometimes it's just annoying. So
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would rather her not do that.
I would imagine so.
I would rather her not do that.
Thank you for the roses, Katie. Thank you, guys. And for all of y'all tuning in, welcome to the Uncover Paranormal Pet Profiles crossover episode premiere. We hope you're enjoying the time. You're in time with us, and well, we usually highlight the pets of, you know, viewers in the community and different streamers. There's one special pet that has never been profiled herself, and so I'm actually going to let Blair here be Pet Profiles host for a minute, as we introduce a pet that definitely deserves to be profiled, but has never been profiled.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the medium box.
Come here, girl. And she's absolutely doesn't give a dang. Come here, girl. She's asleep. I try to keep her asleep as long as possible. So this everybody, if everybody should be pretty familiar with Sabaka.
Hi,
but this
Sabaka.
Is Sabaka. Please don't take out my headphones, sweetheart.
Look at that baby.
I know.
Okay. Well, I have some questions for you. I have right over here.
Awesome. Okay. So, let's get started.
Obviously, we all want to know, how did you get Sabaka? What happened? Like, how did that happen?
So, originally, this is actually Sabaka 2.0. People don't really realize this. So, originally, I went to this rescue shelter, and there was this Jack Russell Terrier. And I knew I wanted to name my dog Sabaka. So I bought this Jack Russell Terrier. It was an adorable dog, lots of energy. I named him Sabaka. It was a him. And I went to work the next day. I played with him. I bought in this beautiful wooden crate. I was going to crate shop. I was going to come home, leave for hours at a time and then come back. I come home after about a couple hours, and there's literally a hole in the side of the wooden crate that the dog had literally chewed a hole big enough to jump through and jumped through the crate. This $200 designer crate that I got at Pottery Barn. So I was so mad. I took the dog back. I was like, I don't want this one. He's a lovely dog, but he's not for me. And I said, I need a dog that's going to be pretty chill, low key, low maintenance. And they introduced me to what her name at the time was Gypsy. And we still kept that as her middle name. But she is the new Sobaka. And she and I have just been an inseparable pair for almost 4 years now. We are just, seriously, we are tight. I can't imagine my life without her. And she's just a big sweetheart. So yeah, that's how me and Sobaka came to be known.
Look at her. She loves you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, obviously I have to ask more questions. I'm getting distracted by how cute she is. Guys, we have never actually met Moore's pet. We've never had a formal introduction. So this is a big deal. We all get to meet Sobaka. She's really famous and we've yet to know anything about her. So I'm going to quiz Moore a little bit more on Sobaka. So obviously I want to know if Sobaka has any tricks because I don't know and I need to know. And I'm sure everyone else would like to know.
So Sobaka, and if you ever come to the beginning of my pet show, I'm not going to do it tonight because the video of her doing this is actually on the phone that I'm guest boxing. But Sobaka doesn't really have any tricks other than sit and stay. But one thing that Sobaka does, which is pretty cool, is when she gets in trouble, she puts herself in timeout. She will literally put herself. And I have this door at home. One day, like Sobaka, she took her bowl and she took her food and spread it all over the couch. And I said, Sobaka, no, corner.
She's like,
and she just went into the corner behind the door and just parked her and just like started like literally faced the corner of the wall behind the door. And ever since then, whenever she does something, I just say Sobaka, corner. And she goes, but she's not bad very often. She's very, very rarely bad. So she doesn't.
Love her.
But yeah, she puts herself in timeout. And there is an actual video of it on my TikTok. If anyone's curious.
Know what I never thought about until earlier? So Sobaka and Waffles are pretty unique names. You know, if anybody else were to hear us yelling at our pets when they do something bad, you hear someone yell across the room, Waffles! Yeah. Like food or Sobaka. Like I always think about that now. Haley brought that up. If you guys don't know, on Moore's stream, my best friend is Haley, so she literally does everything with me. But Haley brought that up because I was yelling at Waffles earlier today because she was being so bad. And I was like thinking about Sobaka and Waffles. I was like, you know, two names that you would never normally hear unless you own them are Sobaka and Waffles. And that's just, you know, the cutest thing and also the funniest thing, I thought.
Right.
But I love that she puts herself in timeout. I wish she would do that.
I know, right? I don't see Waffles having a kind of personality that would do that.
No, she puts me in timeout. What do you see, baby? So with Sobaka, I want to know if Sobaka has had any paranormal occurrences at all.
So I will say in terms of paranormal and what we're all thinking of paranormal, I would say probably not that I'm aware of. Okay. I've had dogs my whole life, and I think dogs are just naturally paranormal, aren't they? And not necessarily in the sense that they're always paraterrestrial in the sense that they can detect entities, but dogs, they can sense our emotions, right? They can sense, there's been studies that show that dogs can tell, Blair, we lost you on my side. Guys, please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties.
I think we have a lot of storms here, so I think it's because of the storm.
Is she back?
Am I back? Hello?
Y'all stand by, please. Y'all stand by. There we go. And we're back up and running.
Okay.
Less than 10 seconds.
We have a lot of storms going on, so they've been cutting out the Wi-Fi on the computer.
Between the storms and the hotel Wi-Fi, who knows who's to blame? Yeah. But even if it's not paraterrestrial paranormal activity, there's definitely paranormal activity in the sense that dogs can detect our emotions. They can detect when we're coming home, even if we're, you know, miles and miles away from the office. There's been research to show that dogs can tell when we're coming home. There's even some dogs that are trained to predict seizures. There's dogs that are trained to monitor when glucose and sugar levels get dangerous in levels in diabetes patients. So there have been times when Sobaka has barked. Sobaka is not a barker. She very, very rarely barks. Like, she'll go weeks without barking. She just doesn't. She's never been a barker. So every once in a while, I kind of wonder if something's going on when she barks. Because when she barks, I tend to pay attention. I tend to listen because it's very, very rare. I don't know. There has been a few times where she's unexplainably barked. I don't know if that's spirits. I don't know if there's just something going on in the neighborhood. But nothing concrete in terms of paraterrestrial energy.
Okay. I know Waffles knows, speaking of the knowing when you're pulling up, Waffles knows when I get, like, she knows my car sound, and she also knows my voice. So when I pull up, my parents always say that she, like, starts meowing a lot because she knows that I'm home. Right. She'll be quiet all day until I get home and I pull up. And if I'm not, like, directly in the house in the perfect amount of time, she starts meowing. Like, she's just like, excuse me, you're supposed to be in here like 5 minutes ago. It would have taken you 5 minutes to get in here and you're not. So I got to let everyone know that you're supposed to be in here. Right. So she really, like, dogs and cats both, like, definitely, like, have that sense. But I know since they do have hyper sensitive senses, they can detect more, obviously, than just your normal everyday to day sounds. Sure. So Sobaka probably, when she's barking like that, it could be that she's hearing, a squirrel across the street, or that maybe you have a ghosty friend in your house as well.
Possibly. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't doubt it.
She's being so good. Oh my goodness. Well, more. That begs the question, have you ever had any paranormal experiences? Because obviously here on Uncover Paranormal, we need to know. That's just kind of the whole premise of this show. If you guys are new over here, hi, we're doing a crossover. More right here is Pet Profiles King, and I'm Uncover Paranormal Queen. And we have teamed up to do a crossover show. So please hop over in between the streams, say hi, support both, and enjoy the show. We're kind of crossing between the both. So we've got not only myself and more, but also Sobaka and Waffles. You guys probably can't see Waffles, but on more stream they can. So I need to know if you've ever had any paranormal experiences. It could be aliens, it could be mythological creatures if you think you've ever come in contact with one, and it could also just be ghosts as well.
Sure. So I used to be really big into, like, Ghost Adventures. I used to love that show in college. It was so cool. And I even went on a few ghost hunts. Didn't really ever find anything. Maybe there was a time when I went into one of the most haunted buildings in Texas, and I did a ghost hunt, and I heard this child crying. I was like, I found it. Turned out it was the night cleaning lady, and she brought her daughter with her. So it was nothing paranormal, unfortunately, that night. But I have had one real paranormal experience, to which this day, just thinking about it, freaks me out. So I'm a former Peace Corps volunteer in Ukraine. Okay. And I did a lot of humanitarian work there for a while. Thank you for the gifts, guys. That's and cool. When I first arrived in Ukraine, we did training. Our whole cluster, about 70 of us, before we spread out through our sites throughout the country, we were all put into this training in this sanitarium, which was this old sanitarium that was used in the Soviet times by the USSR for God knows what purposes. Yeah. And I'm a very spiritual person. My faith is very important to me. So in that regard, I have certain spiritual sensitivities. And when I walked into the room that I was staying in, there was just this darkness there. There's this immediate darkness. I couldn't tell something. And then I look in the corner of my room, and there's about 150 dead flies on the floor, just clumped together. And I went around to other people and asked them, I was like, do any of the other y'all have, like, dead flies? And someone said, well, I might have seen like one or two or something, because there's a lot of flies in this area of Ukraine because of just the ecosystem environment. But the people, like 150, 200, no one experienced that. And it was just like, so to make a long story short, I just felt really uneasy there. Just a sense of, I was just freezing cold, even though it wasn't that cold outside. Yeah. That may be because I'm used to Texas weather, but and then all of a sudden I had that night just this massive panic attack. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I literally, they had to call in a doctor from the Capitol to come look at me because I thought I was going to die, and I couldn't explain it. But whenever I went outside, I was fine. Whenever I left the sanitarium, I was fine. But when I was there, man, my heart clamped up. Like I just felt nothing but death in that room. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just like, residual energy, if there's actual presence there, but it was not good.
That is not good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, when you get a dark feeling, especially when you start to get chills and anything remotely that has anything to do with death, as far as like the bunches of dead flies, they usually say those are omens. What you dealt with in there, I'm not sure, obviously, because I would have to have been there to figure out like what it is. But usually that's a telltale sign of a demonic or at least inhuman energy in that area. I definitely have dealt with darker energies and more light energies. Primarily, majority of my experiences have been past loved ones, but as of late, since I've tapped more into it, I've gotten into other energies, and some energies are not so nice. Some energies are a little scary, and some energies, Waffles has helped me figure out, what they are and what they're not. So it's kind of nice just to have her here. But what you dealt with in there sounds really scary.
For sure. I'm just glad that I'm not there anymore, Kenny. Thank you for this.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you Sabaka would have been able to tell you, hey, Dad, we need to go.
Yeah, for sure. Dad really wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, for sure. What? Waffles? I don't know if you just saw that, but she just smacked me in the head with her tail again.
There he is. There it is. The one thing Blair could change.
So if you guys are new here on More Stream or on my stream, we are doing a special crossover event tonight with Pet Profiles and Uncover Paranormal. We do both of our shows every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More does the Pet Profile, so go give him a favor if you have not. And I do the Uncover Paranormal. Tonight we are merging the two, and I am going to get into why pets have a heightened sense and what makes me believe that they can see ghosts and interact with ghosts before even we can. And Moore is going to be in here learning with us, and Moore is going to give us his take on things as we learn as well. If you guys are commenting, we see your comments, by the way. Just give us, bear with us. We'll get to comments when we can. But we are doing this crossover event for the first time tonight. So, of course, we are doing everything, taking it slow, trying to get Pet Cemetery, sort of. We're trying to get everything going, so just bear with us. So into paranormal and pets more. Obviously, you have an idea as far as your belief on the spiritual world. Bye, Waffles. I guess she's out. So obviously, you have a belief on the spiritual world and just your take on it in general. As far as anything else from what you've experienced, have you experienced anything? Have you ever gotten an uneasy feeling when you just walk into a place, or was that the only place?
There have been times when, yeah, definitely, that nothing as poignant as that experience that I can look back on. I was like, oh man, I remember that. But there are definitely times where I felt uneasy, and also times where I have felt unexplainably more at peace. So.
Yep. So those are feelings. Anytime you feel an energy shift, that is your body kind of interlining with the energy around you. Now, whether that's a ghost or whether that's just energy in general, it's completely up for debate. That's something that once you start learning a little bit more about the spiritual world, you can figure out if it's actually a presence or if it's simply just energy. Energy is all around us. Obviously, you can't create nor can you destroy it. It just simply is it. So the energy around us can be one of two things. It can just be energy simply, or it can be that of someone else's spirit or something else's spirit or essence, if you will. So when it comes down to it, pets, why we're doing this mashup, pets can sense and hypersense energy shifts faster than we can. And while it hasn't necessarily been proven that they can see ghosts, they definitely have proven that they have hypersensitive senses and that they can sense things before we can. Ma'am, be careful. And when you were talking about it earlier, okay, I guess we're back. you were talking about it earlier, and you were mentioning how, pets can be used to sense out if you're going to have like a seizure, if you're going to have, you know, your diabetes, your blood sugar, if it's low or if it's high. Pets can do that because they have a heightened sense of smell and a heightened sense, just in general, of what levels are off in energy. And so whenever you are about to have a heart attack, or you are about to go shift in your blood sugar, I'm trying to think of the word, there is not only a smell that is different, but it's an energy shift as well that they can kind of tap into. That being said, there are several researchers that I have researched that I was able to find on a website called The Cut, and they did some of the research for me, so I didn't have to actually do it, which was kind of nice. But it's basically breaks it down for us from 3 different pet experts, if you will, and we're going to go through all 3. Now, in between the 3, Moore is going to give us his take on what we learned from each of them, and then at the very end, we're going to discuss them with everybody, and we are going to hear an announcement from Moore as well. So stick around to the end, guys. And if you guys don't know, this is Pet Profiles and Uncover Paranormal. We do both of our shows separately on Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the first ever mashup, though, with my friend Moore. Please don't forget to go favorite him. And we're going to get into it. Moore, do you have any questions?
Appreciate it. I will stop if I do.
Okay. So part 1, number 1, is a pet expert named Jackson Galaxy. And he is a cat behavior and wellness expert and the host of Animal Planet's My Cat from Hell. He's a believer in the supernatural. I've got to move my headphones, sorry. He's a believer in the supernatural, and he was interviewed by Madeline Agler, who interviewed all 3 of these pet experts on The Cut. You can look that up on the website. All of this is like cited and everything. If you guys are curious to learn more, these are just simply summaries of each. So from Jackson's point of view, from just a purely evolutionary standpoint, he explains that cats have evolved to sense things that we as humans can't. Their eyes can see perfectly well with the smallest bit of light, and they can hear 6 to 8 times better than we can. And their whiskers are also designed to detect everything from temperature changes to air changes. So that being said, not only can they feel energy more than we can, they can see it, they can hear it, and they can also detect it in their whiskers. So they've got 3 extra senses, cats do, that we don't have, that even like dogs really don't have that much of, that they are able to use to detect energy shifts around them, which is really cool. So that is essentially your first bit of information to kind of tell you that these precious babies, you guys on More Stream can't see, but Waffles is in my lap right now. These precious babies are super sensitive to the energy and the air shifts around them, meaning that if there is a spirit in your presence, they more than likely can see it and they can pick up on it. And a lot of people know that pets look into corners and they stare into corners, and that's like the thing people say, like if your pet's staring at a corner at a wall, it's a ghost. That's not always true. Obviously, cats do weird things. But for the most part, if you feel an energy shift and your cat feels an energy shift, your cat's probably going to pick up on it first. And then you're probably going to feel a temperature change or just an energy shift all the way around you. You're going to get an uneasy feeling and you're going to feel very off-putting.
Nice. Yeah. So is this just for cats or is this for animals in general?
So this first one is just for cats.
Okay.
This guy specifically researches cats alone. The other 2 researches other animals and dogs as well. They go into, that's why I picked these 3, because they go into each different one, which is kind of nice.
And his cat is from my cat. Why does he believe his cat is from hell? Or does this, I mean, obviously maybe not, but like where does that come from, of my cat from hell?
So the My Cat from Hell, I think, is a behavioral channel that he does. So basically he teaches really bad cats how to be good. So like, for example, Waffles, I would probably bring to him so that he could teach her not to be such a bad cat.
Yeah, there you go.
Wisely there. But yeah, not such a bad cat. But essentially that is what he does, is he trains and retrains cats with behavioral issues.
Gotcha. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that cats were really that trainable. So that's an interesting thing to learn.
Well, I trained her how to sit, so yeah.
And fetch, apparently.
Well, that she picked up on her own. I don't know where she got that from. That was just a Waffles thing.
That's
Very
funny.
weird. All right. What is your take on that? Do you have anything to take away from that?
I guess my biggest takeaway from that is that, the whiskers, I didn't know about the whiskers, that the whiskers,
Yeah.
that I had no idea what the whiskers for until this very moment. So that's something that I learned today. I don't really know a whole lot about cats. So, that's a great new thing to learn. Thank you guys.
I didn't know about the whiskers either. And I have a cat. I was like, I saw that and I was like,
I guess it's interesting because I had never thought of, like I said, even if it's not paraterrestrial, I've always thought that there's a paranormal sort of sensory sensitivity with dogs. I mean, we all know that, but I would never have thought about that with cats. So it's interesting to hear that they definitely do, and it sounds like they have quite a lot of it.
yeah, cats are really cool. They've been used in history for a lot. I know they
For
get a
sure.
bad rep because they get a rep of being bad omens, especially if they're black cats. But cats in the history have, been proven to be able to sense a lot of things, which is really interesting. Same with dogs, though, of course, too. Dogs
sure.
have been around for a while, sensing things before they happen, and dogs are obviously the more trainable of the two. But part two, we're going to get into just animals, other animals in general. So part two, we're going to get into a lady named Catherine Bozzi. So Catherine Bozzi is an animal communicator who lives in British Columbia. I'm going to scroll down really fast so I can see it and still see you guys, because my screen is not that big. So Catherine Bozzi is an animal communicator. She lives in British Columbia, and she uses meditation to communicate with animals who are both alive and dead. So not only is she an animal communicator, but she also is a medium. So she says that horses are the best at connecting with ghosts because they are herd animals. So their bonds are very strong and they're very emotional, which is interesting because I have horses too, and I didn't know that. I wasn't aware that horses pick up on those kind of things, but I guess that makes sense because in all the scary movies I watch, when they have a horse as the bad omen, when the horse is reacting,
right,
looking back, in The Ring and stuff like that, horses get really worked up over energy shifts, and that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, horses are very intelligent. Hey, Waf. And she said that since they are very emotional, that is something that a lot of people will tap into when it comes to, dogs and horses both. They are used for helping pets. What is the word? I can't think of the word. They're used as, helping pets. So they aid and they assist humans in things sometimes when they need emotional support or actual support. Horses, not so much obviously as dogs, because you can't take a horse with you everywhere. But a lot of people get horses for their young kids, just to kind of help ease their mind and keep that constant, and have that, yes, guys, show more some love. Have that constant in their life so that they can calm down during the times that they feel high stress. Now, with dogs and cats, they're definitely also able to connect with a spirit as well. And animals in general are more open to experiencing spiritual connections than humans because they're not culturally conditioned to dismiss that these moments are purely imagination, which I really like that she mentioned that, because that is true. Animals aren't aware of opinion. Animals are not aware of just stereotypes, and just in general, anything that has to do with a mindset
sure,
shift.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So I love that.
And it's so true now when you think about it. I mean, how many movies have we seen where something bad is about to happen, right? The horses get the horses,
Yeah.
they take off, the
They're
pigs
out.
take off, the birds fly away. I mean, it's almost and nobody taught us that that happens. It's just something almost that we almost innately know, that the animals can sense things in realms that we can't necessarily appreciate.
Exactly. What is your takeaway from that?
So my question is, how much of, I mean, obviously animals have definitely, like we just talked about, abilities to and sensitivities that we don't necessarily have. How much of that is just due to their natural? My question is, how much is just due to their natural ability and their national extrasensory sensitivities, and how much of it is due to, like you said, the fact that we just subdue our own sensitivities because of we're taught that that's silly, that's
Right.
you know, it's so. I would say that I had never really thought about until you said that just how much of a role our own minimizing plays. So I'm curious to hear what you think. What or does the answer lie somewhere in the middle?
I definitely feel like has everything to do with the fact that, you know, humans have this this way of undermining things and really suppressing things and making others feel like they're crazy, just because humans in general don't like the unknown. Humans fear the unknown. So if they can't explain it, majority of humankind will dismiss it off as imagination or not real, non-existent. And that's just in everything in everyday life. If you think, you know, they'll tell you some words are, oh, you're overthinking it, you're imagining it, it's in your head. That goes for a lot of things, you know, not just the paranormal world, but mental health in general. Anything that's really scary to the human race, if it's new, they don't really, typically the masses don't like to talk about it. So in the case of paranormal, you know, it scares a lot of people because it's something you can't see. And if you've ever had a paranormal experience, especially in the case of hearing things or feeling things without seeing it, it's terrifying. It's one of the reasons I don't like my gift, because if they don't show themselves to me, I don't know where they're at. I don't know where they're coming from, and it's scary. It's very freaky because it's like, okay, this is something that could potentially hurt me, but I don't know if it can or not, and I can't see it. And I think that's what humans get so afraid of, so they dismiss it off as,
Sure.
you know, it's just in your imagination, whereas animals can't do that. Animals can't just like, oh, it's just in my imagination. Animals are like, no,
Right.
it is there, like that, I
Right.
see it.
Like, I would wonder, because, you know, if you're blind or you're deaf, your other senses are enhanced, and because animals don't have the cognitive processes that we do as humans,
yeah.
Undoubtedly their senses and everything else is heightened. I would wonder, and of course there's no way for us to know this, I mean, maybe unless you know it, I wonder if animals such as dolphins or chimpanzees that have a higher cognitive ability have less of that paranormal ability just because of their higher cognitive function. I would just be curious about that.
I think it would have to depend on if they can form opinion or not. I think that's where it all stems down to, because once you're aware and you can form an opinion is when you're able to decide for yourself, like, if you want to believe in something or not. The part of us that makes us really special and unique as a human race is that we're able to steadily be self-aware and cognitively aware and form opinions about things, and we're allowed, you know, we're able to think differently than our other species, whereas most animals, majority, can't do that. They just simply all think pretty much the same. They have about the same thoughts that we know of, and they just, you know, they go throughout their life on instinct rather than opinion. And I think if we as a human race were to go through life on instinct rather than opinion, we might see things through a different lens.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And guys, if y'all are just joining us, this is the Uncover Paranormal Pet Profiles crossover event. And Blair is sharing really interesting and fascinating information on how the world of the paranormal relates to our cute furry creatures that we love so much.
Yes. So if you guys don't know what Moore just said, this is the first ever crossover show. So this is super important. So I'm going to need you guys both on both sides to show both of us some love. Go visit Moore. Go favorite Moore if you don't already have Moore favorited. And we're getting more into why pets can potentially sense ghosts around you.
And guys, again, feel free for stream hot, because in the views definitely help us. Go show her some love, favorite her, and vice versa, guys. Don't feel like you have to stay there or stay here. Y'all can, thank you, by the way. Y'all feel free to show both of us love on each other's stream. So if you're here, go see Blair and vice versa.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to get into the last segment. This is, if you guys are just joining the show, we're going through 3 different pet experts, and a girl named Madeline actually interviewed these people and asked them if they think that pets can sense and why they think pets can sense the paranormal. So Grisha Stewart is the last person that she interviewed, and Grisha Stewart is a dog trainer, an author, and a speaker based out in Oregon. She said that she has shared her stories about her animals, and people around her has shared stories with her about their animals, and when they pick up on something spiritual, she knows. So in one instance, a fellow trainer told her about a dog that they had worked with who refused to go down into the basement of a family's home. Now, this is a regular occurrence in older homes that have basements. For some reason, a lot of messed up stuff happens in basements or locked attic rooms, because a long time ago, that's where your secrets were hid. You know, if you were doing some shady stuff, it would be down in the basement or be in the attic. So those are the 2 rooms in a super old house that your pets might react differently because the energy might be negative. Now, this isn't always the case. Obviously, not every single old house is haunted, but a lot of them can be, and a lot of them have trauma in them, which is what leads to a negative energy in the first place, and potentially ghosts and spirits. So animals will react that way to those 2 rooms the most. That is statistically speaking, the 2 rooms that you will see animals react negatively to the most. And in this case, the dog would not go down into the basement of the family's home. The trainer couldn't get the dog downstairs, and eventually the family hired a medium to come and cleanse the energy in the basement. Immediately after the cleansing, she said that the dog had no problem going down there. Now, that is something that we see a lot too. If you're ever experiencing any sort of negative energy and your pet's uncomfortable and you're uncomfortable, do some saging, do an energy cleanse, hire someone to come if it's really bad. And then you'll probably notice a huge difference, because the pet will pick up on a positive energy shift as well as you will too.
That is, so what do you know what actually is involved in such a cleaning? Because someone who's not really involved outside of watching Ghost Adventures, you know, in the world of the paranormal too much, I would be curious to what exactly that would entail.
So I am not I'm not someone who goes and actually cleanses. I don't work with that because I'm just not there. Oh my goodness. It's like Alice was picking up on my vibes. Alice G7 right down here is someone who actually does go and do that occasionally. She's actually one of my favorites. We've had her on the stream before several times because she deals with this. This is like something that like is her job. And he knows. Okay, so you know. So this is something that she does, like, actually, and this is something that she's more involved in. So someone like Alice that actually goes in and does the cleansing is going to go way more in depth than someone like me who probably just sages the house. Like, for instance, when I was having issues in my house, I just saged it. And the energy shift was noticeable. Is it gone? Probably not. But the energy shift is noticeable. But that's all I can do. That's all I know how to do. And if you're ever dealing with anything like that, by the way, please note that if you don't know what you're doing, don't deal with it. Hire someone else to do it. Call somebody else. Literally call Ghostbusters. Not really. Call Alice. But it's really tricky when you go into cleanse and energy, because you need to understand too what energy you're dealing with.
Right. And you know, regardless of your beliefs, I mean, I know there's probably some people out there who may be skeptics. Or maybe have different beliefs, but I think a general rule of thumb is if you don't know what you're dealing with, it's probably not a good idea to jump in. You know,
exactly.
You don't have to be a believer to know that if you're dealing with something that's demonic or that's driving your animal crazy or that gives you a general unexplainable sense of unease, may not be the best idea to just jump into it. You know,
exactly.
And no matter what you believe, consult someone whether it be an empath who knows about these kinds of things, a priest, whatever it is that you know aligns to your beliefs. Don't what's the old saying, don't try this at home, right?
Yeah, literally. I like to look at it as you wouldn't bleach your hair at home if you didn't know what you were doing, because your hair might fall out.
I did that, by the way, in the 1990s. And
No.
unfortunately, I did not end up looking like Justin Timberlake. I ended up looking like Zach from Saved by the Bell,
Oh no.
like ugly little brother. So
Oh
that's
no.
just a side note. Don't do
More.
that.
Don't do it. Just like dyeing your hair blonde. If you don't know what you're doing, leave it to the pros. If you're dealing with a spirit that makes you uncomfy, leave it to the pros. Understand what you're dealing with, or have someone come and help you understand what you're dealing with. Your animals will be your first sign, though, because your animals are probably going to pick up on it before you will. So if your animals are acting a little freaky, if your animals are doing things that they've never done before, making noises that they've never done before, hanging out in places that they've never been before in your house, probably a surefire sign that something is there with you. You could have picked it up. It could have always been there. It might be a new house. Regardless, it's something worth looking into.
Right. Now, we touched, and I don't know if you were ready for this part, or hopefully you are.
I'm ready.
We touched a little bit on Waffles and her extra, or her paranormal side. So, do you have any stories that you could share with the Uncovered Paranormal crowd and with the Pet Profiles crowd about some experiences that Waffles had?
Absolutely. So Miss Waff here is very sensitive to spirits, and there's been plenty of stories, but the one that really made me realize that something was up, that she was sensing something and I wasn't crazy, was that okay, so for you, those of you over here in my stream, most of you know about the Palmdale house. I call it the Palmdale house. I basically was trying to save money in California, and I moved up a little north to Palmdale, California. If anybody knows where that's at, you know why that was a bad idea in the first place. You're aware. So I moved up there and I moved into this house. It gave me bad vibes. And when I first moved in, Waffles was kind of acting weird. I paid no attention to it because I was like, whatever, we're trying to save money. Weird things were happening. Weird things were happening that I couldn't explain. Things were happening that I thought was Waffles, and it ended up not being Waffles. And then at the very end of like towards the end of my stay there, I noticed Waffles was reacting in weird ways to certain parts of the closets and certain corners over to like where the instances would happen. So where the doors were slamming, where the doors were opening, where stuff was falling, she'd go to those corners first, and she would see something and just stare at it. It would get super cold in the house, even when the AC wasn't on, and then something would happen right after. And I started to notice there was a pattern where stuff would happen, and then when Waffles would go and see like that part of the house, that's where the instance would happen. So it would just be like little things like that. She would stare up at the corners of the walls, and she would meow a lot, and she would make like really weird like really weird, like not even like howls, but like drowning out like her meows, like they just sounded like she was dying. And
I'm listening to you, by the way. I have my gift sounds on. I'm trying to figure out how to turn them off.
Oh no,
I'm
you're
so sorry.
fine.
I'm sorry. I am listening to you, by the way.
If you go to the plus sign, if that's available on your computer.
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. No, you're fine.
I'll find it.
Yeah. So basically, Waffles would go to the corners of the room. She would stare up at the corner, and she would space out and start doing the really weird meows. And that, I noticed, started to be oh no. Did you end your stream? More, what did you do? All right.
We have, that didn't work. All right, so we're going to go back and restart that. Bear with us, guys, if you're just joining us, I do apologize. I do apologize. We are experiencing technical difficulties, but give me just a moment, please.
So if you guys are in my stream, more stream is down. We're doing both streams. So you guys can see us both here, but the point was that he was also supposed to be live too.
All right, let's get this back started again.
So
I deeply apologize. Guys, bear with us here. Don't go to settings when you're streaming from your computer, just FYI. Blair, I just loaded anytime you're ready. Okay.
Hi, Eve.
Guys, we couldn't get through the night without at least a little bit of a hiccup, so y'all bear with us. Y'all bear with us.
Okay. We're back.
Okay, we're back. All right, take it away, Blair. I apologize about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. Okay, so essentially Waffles would just like stare at the corner and just completely like space out, and I noticed that that was a pattern. Every time something scary would happen, Waffles would stare first and something would happen, and then stuff would fly off the walls, doors would slam shut or open. Haley one time antagonized the ghost, and Waffles just stayed at the like door and it, like was watching and making weird noises. And then that's when we saw the door handle move and push the door open. That was the scariest moment of my life because I've never seen a door just like the door handle move and the door just. That was really terrifying.
For sure.
That was when I grabbed Waffles up, shoved her in her kitty bag, and we left.
Yeah, I bet. Now, and where did this happen again?
So this happened in Palmdale. There was a house in Palmdale that.
So this is at your residence, though.
Yeah, that's a place I was renting, and the landlord sweared up and down that it wasn't haunted. But he also was, there are people who have faith and have Christianity and they believe in spirits, and then there are people who are Christians who just do not. And he was one of those that just did not. He was like, absolutely not. God would never let anything like that into my house. And I was like, but it's here. It's here, my guy. Like, and it's scary. So I'm out. But yeah, Waffles picked up on it every time. I don't know if you guys can hear, but she's snoring in my lap now. She's asleep. She is out.
That is what Sabaka does best.
Yeah, Waffles snores like a grown man. It's pretty bad. Well,
guys, I do apologize about the disruption, but we are back, and this is the Pet Profiles Uncover Paranormal. Guys, it wouldn't have been a premiere crossover without a little bit of technical difficulties and hiccups. It wouldn't have been a proper premiere without it.
To be fair, at least we made it to like the ending.
We did make it to the ending, towards the end. That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else? Because we do have about 15 more minutes. I want to save the last 5 minutes for our to do a shout out for Pet of the Week. Are there any other stories that could fit into the next 10 minutes that you could share with us about Waffles?
About Waffles, just that she is horrendous and that she gets zoomies a lot. That is about it. She's kind of boring. She's not that boring. She likes to be here with me. She's very clingy, as you guys can see. She loves being here and laying on me, and this is her favorite. I know. This is her favorite place to be. But, she's just, a strange little cat. She can sense paranormal things, and she can also just be very weird. But at the end of the day, she loves me very much, as you can see. She's just kind of
Do you know where the history behind the black cat as bad omen comes from? Because I know that's just something. Okay, well.
Oh, sorry. I thought you did.
We will research that, and we will have that next week. So. On the Pet Profile side. And you know what? Maybe Blair will look it up and you can see it on the Uncover Paranormal. She'll intro to that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll have to ask her.
Maybe we'll have to the Egyptians.
We'll have that information for you on Pet Profiles next week, guys. Again, guys, I know we just started. We're still got people rolling in here, but we still got a pretty decent amount for the fact that we've been live for 5 minutes. So y'all, please, if you're here, please give this wonderful, beautiful lady a favorite. She's got an amazing show, which we are taking part of right now. So what have you ever experienced paranormal activity in other people's pets?
Yes, actually, recently. The first time I had ever picked up on it was really kind of weird. But Haley and I went for a hike. As of recent, I went up for my birthday. My birthday was like last week. So we did a hike because I always like to do a birthday hike. And we did a hike in this new place. And we ended up in a place that we weren't supposed to be in. So basically, we were trying to go to a certain waterfall, and we ended up at the wrong waterfall, and it was really creepy, and the whole place just looked really haunted and really scary, and it gave me a really bad vibe. But I was like, we're already here. The waterfall that we wanted to go to is like 30 minutes away. Let's just keep going. And so I walked with her and her dog. She had her new dog. His name is Ramsey, and he's a little cutie. He looks like, honestly, he looks just like Sabaka, but like 5 times Sabaka size. But just like Sabaka, just bigger. And so we took Ramsey out. And so whenever we went down into the waterfall part, Haley was talking about a TikTok she had seen where they were talking about ghosts and children and how most of the children ghosts are demons pretending to be, and how children are just scary in general. And
guys, Blair Woods here. So we hate children. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we don't hate them. They're just freaky, especially
They're
as
freaky.
ghosts. Children ghosts are scary. But we were talking about that TikTok, and Haley was like, I guess in the TikTok they were saying that when you go to a place that gives you a bad feeling, if you see a ball, it's a bad omen. It's like an omen of a demon. And so Haley was like, if I see a children's ball, I'm out. So we were going in, and we were around the lake, and or the, I guess, creek, river, whatever you want to call it, next to the waterfall, and we were literally just skipping rocks, and like as nonchalant as that is, we were skipping rocks, just talking, and Ramsey picked up a scent, and Ramsey was on it, and Ramsey's a little pup, so Ramsey's not trained to do this yet. He's a little German Shepherd, but I know. Okay. Wait. You're tangled up. You're tangled up in the thing, and you're gonna make everything fall. So let's not do that. 1 second. Let go. You can go over here. Stop it. Okay. See, she's not the nicest. Anywho, so Ramsey is not a trained dog yet. He is a shepherd, so he definitely has the shepherd tendencies to pick up that scent, but he's not trained at all. He's like literally 6 months old, if that. And or no, he's not 6 months old. That's a young pup. What is he? What is I don't know. I think like at like 8 months or 9 months, I don't know. But like the time frame that, he's still definitely a pup. And so he picked up on a scent and led us to a children's ball in the middle of nowhere and on this trail, like off the trail. And so Haley was like, she was like, I need you to come see this. And I was like, what? And we already had this like really nasty feeling on the inside, like this sickening feeling on the inside. And so I came over, and she was like, there's a ball. And I was like, ooh. And so Haley and I looked at each other. We're like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm good. So we walked back up, and then I told her, I was like, I need you to pull in this place really fast. I'm getting like a really tugging feeling to go down that road. And she was like, okay, I don't know what's down that road though. And I was like, I don't know either. And by the way, this is a city we haven't been to. Haley just moved to Chattanooga, and we don't know Chattanooga that well. So I told her, we were probably like 2 hours away from Chattanooga and have never been. I think it was called Tracy City, and we had never been there. So I told her, I was like, pull down this road really fast. I have a tugging feeling to go down here. And she was like, okay. So she pulled down this road. The road was actually a drive-through cemetery. It was the road to a cemetery, but you couldn't see it from the outside. And it was right next to the hike that we were doing. And it was really scary because we pulled up, and immediately I told her, I was like, I'm going to get out and I'm going to walk around and just see what happens. And she was like, okay, weirdo, like, I'm going to be in here and I'll just follow you. I was like, okay. So I walked around. I had coins because I always like to leave like little like quarters and stuff like on their headstones, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to leave like an offering. And so I told her, I said, I'm just going to go wherever I feel drawn to the most. The very first one I was drawn to was a child that died at the age of 3. It was really sad. It was in the 1800s. And then the second one I was drawn to didn't have a headstone, but I got the nastiest feeling from it. And Haley said that the minute that I walked over to that headstone, that she choked on her Cheez-Its and that she got a really sickening feeling. And then the minute that I walked away from it and I was no longer near it, she was fine. Like it had been like she didn't even choke. You know how normally after you choke, you still feel like the scratchiness? That had just gone. Like the tightening had gone. So it was like really weird. It was very strange. And then I ended up coming up on another gravestone that was a name. His name was Charles Henry, and he had the same birthday as I did, April 28th. And so it was around the same time that I was celebrating my birthday. So I obviously was just like there, like, you know, happy birthday, and gave him like an offering too. But her dog literally led us to that ball, and then right after leading us to that ball, I had the urge to go and like go to this road that ended up being a cemetery, which was really weird.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that we've ever had experience like this. That I will say this is not really paranormal related, but it is kind of clever. I mean, kind of related. So when I went to New York for the very first time back in 2001. Ooh, spot up. Thank you. We just hit 19 milli. Thank you, spot up. I appreciate that, man. I went to the 9/11 memorial site, and if you've never been to the 9/11 memorial site, it's this huge fountain, and around the fountains, in the actual places where the Twin Towers used to stand, are the names on that surround the fountains of everyone that died.
Right.
So I had this overwhelming sense of sadness. Yeah. And I started crying. I didn't even knew anyone who died in 9/11 on that day. But definitely it was something spiritual in nature. And then, I swear to God, I looked at one name, and it said Matthew. I'm not going to say my last name, but it had my name on there. And my last name is not a common last name. It is not. I've never met anyone with my last name ever. And I looked at this, I looked at the side of this fountain, and it had my name on there. And I'm just like, yowie wowie, that is really creepy. I was proper, but anyways.
That's scary.
But, guys, if y'all joined us, apologies for everyone who just came back in on my side. A little technical difficulties, but we had an amazing show. This is the lovely Blair Woods. My name is Mor Mizarab, and this has been the first ever crossover episode between two featured shows. Blair, of course, hosts Uncover Paranormal every Wednesday at the same time as our show, which is 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. on the West Coast. And so if you ever just want to go throw her some love, we are going to be changing our time to 10 p.m. Eastern here pretty soon. We will be changing pretty soon, probably here within the month or so. So maybe the last one and only chance to do that here, but I hear other people are already talking about doing crossover shows. I was like, all right, are we trendsetters here or not?
Trendsetters. Well, that means that we can be on each other's show again then.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Blair, now before we go, is there any way you can make me really big on your screen just for a second so I could show this? Guys, if you're new to pet profiles, either on, I look so much worse, big. Okay, God, do I really look, please tell me I don't really look like this in real life. No, the filters are gone. Geez, okay. I've never realized how much the filters actually help. Okay, so if you're new to pet profiles, either in my stream or on Blair's stream, one thing we do every week is we highlight a pet somewhere in the country that needs your help and needs to be adopted. And normally you can vote for this on my Instagram. But Rebel Bell, are you here? Let me see. I can't see the comments. Is she here? Let me know if you see her in the comments section. Rebel Bell, are you here? She should be in your stream. I told her to go to your stream. If not, that's okay. So guys, she has a dog who she lives in Florida. She's a streamer here on the app. So feel free to reach out to me or Blair if you're able to adopt this dog. She'll get in touch with me and I'll get in touch with Rebel Bell. Rebel Bell's a streamer here and she is looking desperately for a home for her dog. The dog is older. It's 10 years old. Her name is Ladybird. And here's a picture of her. That's why I wouldn't be big. Ladybird.
Aww. Wait, Ladybird, put it over to this side a little bit. There we go.
Ladybird is 10 years old. She is great companion. She's great with kids. She's great with adults. She doesn't do well with other dogs. So she needs to be in a single pet home, guys. But if you are someone who is looking maybe for a pet for an older couple, or maybe someone elderly, or just someone who wants a low maintenance dog and is not mind adopting one a little older, Rebel is looking for a home for Ladybird. She doesn't find one soon, guys. She's gonna. You can make me small again if you need to, Blair. She is gonna have to put the dog down if she can't find a home. So we definitely want to find her a home. She is willing to drive to you, even if you don't live in Florida. She's willing to drive to you because she's so desperate and she doesn't want to put this dog in a kill shelter. So guys, if there's anyone out there who's able to adopt this wonderful, well-behaved 10-year-old dog into its sunset years, probably has a good 5-6 years left, please contact me, contact Bell, or contact Blair.
Also, now I definitely hope that someone can adopt the dog, but I know of 2 no-kill shelters up here where I'm at in Florida if she wants to message me on Instagram for like last resort. And I don't mind coming to meet her if she's a little bit further.
Right. I'm not sure what it is, something about the shelter she doesn't want to do. I think she just really wants to know that it's going to go to a good home because she's
I know the
so
one
long.
shelter is a smaller shelter, so basically the dog, like, she doesn't take in too many dogs, but if she has an opening, she takes in like 10 at a time so that she can actually take care of them and like foster them correctly.
Right. But yeah, for sure. I'll put her in touch with you. But guys, if there's anyone out there who's even if you're not, in the Florida area, but you're nearby and you could adopt this dog, guys, it would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to Rebel Bell. And it would be a really great thing. But that's it for us, guys.
That was all. Thank you guys for attending. Thank
Absolutely.
you guys over on More Stream. Hi.
And thank you guys over on Blair Stream. Thank you for having me over here. You guys were wonderful hosts. And again, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, More. All right, guys. We are going to... I'm going to send a heart really fast. We are going to switch over to our normal stream. I'm going to put you guys on a charger. Thank you guys for sending all the gifts, by the way. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. Holy crap. After show vibes. All right. That was so much fun. Oh my goodness. I love More. Don't forget to show More some love, guys. Don't forget to go over. And does that gift count as wheels? It can, I think. Which gift? Which one are we talking about? Let me change something really fast, guys. Really fast. Do 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 do. Blairolodian. Yep, everyone just heard me say that. I love that. I love being so weird. Okay. All right, I'm going to close out that. I'm going to close out that. Alexa, play Selena Gomez.
Shuffling songs by Selena Gomez on Amazon
Do,
Music.
do, do, do. Okay. When Nickelodeon's fun about, right? Your weirdness is cute. Thank you. Hi, everybody. If you guys have any questions for me, too, you guys can ask now. I can answer them. That was so much fun. I've never done a crossover show before, and I haven't done a show in a while. So that was a lot of fun to come back with that. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the gifts, everybody. I appreciate it. I don't know. Are they? I didn't hear about that. So sweet. Thank you guys for putting up with waffles. Are you gonna go? I'm not. We're heading into our after show stream. So we're gonna chill. I'll sing a little later tonight. Yes, I'm trying to pick these nails off because these nails are hurting. I did my nails last night and they hurt already. I hate doing nails. I hate having nails on. I got 2 songs for you. Okay. Is that why you were asking about the wheels? Put me in the cone. Cool. Too bad I had to leave to go to meet with my trainer for a late night meeting. Oh no, that's okay. I'm sorry. Stay on top of me, oh. I sense a spirit near. Do you? There's always a spirit with me. Excuse me. There's always one. Charm Charlie, I love you. Thank you. I see. Wait, who is that? Hi, Luna. Spot up. Thank you, babe. Ice cream, chillin', chillin', ice cream, chillin'. I told her she needs a husband. What? Oh, tell us about that. That's fun. Was it scary? Was it good? What are we gonna see? I'm building as tall as heaven. Are you scared of the spirits? I've been afraid of a few of them. Yes, when I get like really bad energy, or if I see something scary, I get really scared. I try to let them know not to show them, like actually show themselves to me, because that freaks me out. I don't like actually seeing them. Or if they are going to show themselves to me, I'd rather them announce that they're there first before just appearing, because that's scary. And so yeah, so I get afraid, like I'm afraid of it. I'm not really a fan of it, but obviously I can't help when certain things happen, and I can't help like when certain things are like tugging at me, because if I don't follow like my gut, I just get sick to my stomach. So I either follow my gut and I do what these spirits want me to do, or I just don't, and I get sick and it's uncomfy. So it makes mine more intense. Yeah. Waffles is eating her kitty food. Kitty. Intuition. Yeah, my intuition's very, very high. Is that shirt comfy? It is. Thank you, Audra King. How is everybody, by the way? How are we all doing? Thank you so much, Medusa. Thank you. Mondays right now. Good, because I get to see you. Thank you, Miss Tigress. Miss Tigress, what was your first song? Numerology. Ooh. Can't wait to get my surgery. What surgery? What are you doing? And a sidekick? I love that. Looking forward to this all day, cutie. Thank you. I hope that it was good. My love, Sia. I don't know that one though. Amazing show. I'm off to bed. Thank you, Alice, for popping in. I love it when Alice pops in. Alice is like my guide. I feel like I was like drawn to Alice from the beginning, and she's just like, I don't know, a really like good light person to have in your life. If you guys haven't already favorited Alice, please do. Alice, do you still do a show? For a while. What time do you normally do it? Oh yeah, we're done. Emoji J. Sorry, no, we're done. So that does spiritual readings.